Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I am so very happy that you're here with me today in this week's episode of Be1 Be You. We are diving into the theme Finding Your True Path. So many of us have a sense, a feeling that something's not quite stacking up within ourself and or in our life, and we don't know what it is. Many of you have tried on different meditation practices, yoga techniques, workouts, belief systems, religious practices, and you have enough years behind you of trying out different modalities that you know what has worked for you, and oftentimes may feel and have felt that you haven't really accomplished or gotten to this unknown place that you can't put into words, that you are hoping to get closer to and to at least know that you are on your right track. How do you find your true path, and what is it anyway? Most of us are raised to fit in and be formed in structures that honestly believe in themselves that they work. They've worked for others. But you see, we are all on a different frequency of our evolution. Our souls have different ages. We are all from the one, from the universal source. We're made up of that. Your soul is that light, the consciousness of pure beingness, of pure awakening. You have your unique path that you have walked in this life, and even more importantly, over many lifetimes. You have been on your own unique trajectory, and when you give that power over to someone else, that power that is telling you what's right, what's wrong for you, what happens is there's a diminishing of the fire, of the spark of your true self. We can get diminished. The flame can get blown out. Or we have the appropriate and correct for us elements together so the sun can come out from behind the clouds inside of yourself. And when the sun is shining inside of you, then where do you direct it? Directing it to what? How do you know what to direct yourself towards? What is the balance between surrender? What do you surrender to? And taking action? What is the equation for manifesting your true self, following desires, yet not getting caught up in your desires, and not getting hung up in finding yourself, meaning taking on the identity of who you want to be? You can dress up as it. You can fool others. And many of you know that after a while of fooling others, that you fool yourself. And everything is kind of going along in your trajectory, and something happens. Possibly a relationship doesn't work. You can't show up how is needed in the relationship. You're following everything that you learned in school, but what happens? You thought that you were doing it right. You followed the dictations of your parents' instructions of life. Many of you have served the blueprint of your family system and get to a point going, oh my gosh, something really isn't right in myself. I can't name it. It's hard to shift and trust without naming what's going on. Well, I'll name the first step of finding your true path. The first step is connecting back into the real you. That is the doorway into being one in your true self. The real you is the you that you are born as on a soul level. There's the gross level, which is what is very visible. You can sense, feel your hand. You are hearing sound. That's the gross level of your reality. It's the physical plane. There's the subtle. The subtle is most definitely what's perceptible and yet unable to be felt until you open in yourself to the subtle feeling, the subtle experiences that life gives. The messages given to you through your heart, your intuition beginning to open because you're dropping, analyzing, and thinking everything through, and then needing to escape the pain that's created through living in this separation of living in your head and having a difficult time integrating, connecting in with the feelings and your body at the same time. Something dramatic's got to happen to open you to the point where you say, wow, something's got to shift. And you think, well, it's outside of myself. Well, yeah, it can be outside. Most definitely. The external will trigger inside of yourself what you have to come back to in yourself. So the first reconnection in yourself, when you are wanting to find your true path, what are you here for? Who are you? What are you meant to be doing, breaking through, realizing, like, what is this all about? And why is there so much chaos in the world? What's going on? Who's right? Who's wrong? What voice do you listen to inside yourself? When you return to you, the you that you left behind, it's written about in my book, One in Soul, gives you the main technique, the One in Soul technique. It's a reconnection back to you, really into you so you can move forward. It's given in the masterclass, the signature program. I teach it in all of the courses that you receive in the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Membership Program that you got to check out at my website. Yeah, that's ayanalehi.com. Reconnecting back into yourself is usually found through connecting with the part of yourself that you left behind. It'll show up in your reconnection moment as finding the little kid inside of you, that child who was feeling many of the following emotions or just one of them: hurt, fearful, grief, abandonment, feeling betrayed, rejected, ABR'd, I call it, abandoned, betrayed, rejected. It's like the light goes out inside and the light gets dim, as I shared earlier. When you reconnect to that original part in yourself that did not feel seen, heard, received, Anger can be created from those three experiences or just one or two of them. Your original self is your true self. And most of us grow up separating from ourself. We leave ourself. And then when we come back to ourself, the tears come and we recognize that we worked so hard to fulfill what was being expected of us. And many of you traveled a path that was half fulfilling, 3/4 fulfilling, maybe totally fulfilling until you took it far enough. And then something was revealed and possibly nothing was given back to you. And that hurts. That really hurts inside because time is precious, life is precious. You know on the subconscious level that you are here to integrate your conscious infinite consciousness and your unconscious infinite consciousness. This is duality. And who is right? When you realize that you have left your golden child inside, that original you, yes, the tears come. And then you have to see who you've become. Possibly you've been loving everyone else but yourself. Possibly you grew up trying to fix everything because the situation in your family of origin was messy. Perhaps you decided to become a great communicator because in your family of origin no one communicated. Perhaps what became most important to you in a relationship was for you to learn to listen to someone else because you wanted to be heard and you want to learn how to communicate so that you don't hurt somebody else because you were so hurt growing up because it was about everyone else but you. So finding your true path starts at the beginning, and there's steps, and you can't forfeit the steps. You can't bypass them. There's no shortcuts. There's no meditation technique that's a shortcut because you see, you are the path. Everything within inside of you that you are here to work with, play in, face, come out of denial about, you are the teacher and the student within inside of yourself. And the bridge between the two is love. You are here to master what you have flaked about, what you have avoided, what you have hoped could work, but couldn't work because possibly you and another person in a relationship had very different values. Perhaps you realize that it's not working just to stuff your talents that you have as an artiste, as a creator. Perhaps you came into this lifetime to reconnect with the creator within yourself, which you have to open. You have to open to the internal feminine, the true feminine, not the one who's getting dressed up or exploring the feminine on the outside. Whether you're masculine or feminine, male or female, you have to find the real deal, reconnect into the creator itself within you. The religions have had everyone duped, thinking that the creator is a male energy. It's not. It begins in the feminine, the creation. Everywhere you look on this physical plane, you see the feminine, and yet it's being destroyed. And then we close our hearts and we take sides. Why do we take sides of who's right and who's wrong? Well, we take sides in ourself. Finding your true path, you come back to your original self. You end taking sides. Well, I'm just here to keep everything okay inside of me. I'm just doing what I have to do so I don't rattle the bird cage because I can't get out of the cage. I can't fly free. And oh, wow, yeah, I really am ready to set myself free, but What are the consequences? And do I have the tools that I need to succeed creating my own career, being an entrepreneur, going my path, coming out of a relationship that is most definitely unhealthy for me? Or maybe a relationship where everything's okay, but I'm bored out of my mind because it's maybe too normal. Is it really okay for me to stop smoking pot and to not go out and have a drink when my friends have a drink? What are your inner secrets? What are you hiding from yourself? What do you not want someone else to know? Well, honestly, truly, from my heart to yours, the infinite source of life, the eternal existence within you and everyone is the same. And you know what? It's tapped in because it's that infinite source. Some people call it God. It's got 108 names and more. But the God that I'm talking about is the love that's inside of your heart that you find within inside of your own heart when you meet your original self. That's step one. Step two is you're having to connect into source within your body. My goodness, God's not outside of yourself. God being that infinite source, God being the love, God being the one, the eternal existence who knows everything inside of you. So in your deepest moments of going, oh, is there a God? Is there something out there hearing me? There'll be something that happens in your life, like a song that plays, that comes up, an article about something that you need to know about on your feed. You're going to be given the messages. You're going to be guided to your path because your true path's inside of you. It's not found through taking on a new meditation, as I shared, or even doing yoga or changing your diet. It's got to be the whole enchilada, the whole picture, the whole buffet, meaning all of you matters. All of the parts of you need to be reconnected to and to find out what's beneath that anger that erupts in your relationship, or the feeling that you're better than someone else, or that someone is not living up to what you think is right. Where does that arrogance come from? Where does superiority come from? We all have it within inside of ourselves. That moment when you realize that you've turned away from you and you don't love you, but you're crying inside, and so you've spent years covering that up. As you uncover what's been hurting and what's in pain, and you show up from your heart to you, that's the beginning of finding your path. Because inside of you is that glimmer, that spark of the universal intelligence, the eternal existence within inside of you. And yes, you can sit and be in silence and listen, but the most important thing is to invite in the light that is inside of you, to bring in that light. And in all of the Spirit Gateways Institute courses, programs, trainings that you read about on my website, you go to the membership part, the Global Village, the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village, it's here for you. So I've put it all together, and I want you to know about it, to find out about it, and save yourself 10, 20 years of walking on a path that's not your direct path to you. I'm committed and dedicated to giving you all the tools to reconnect back into you so that you can live being on your path and know how to work with what comes up and recognize what's false and what's truth, what's really true, so that you're living from your true self. That's where we're going. Your true path is your life, everything in it. And it's really okay for it to be different than your partners or your parents, your family of origin, because your path is here and all of the challenges in your life are perfect because they shine back to you, sometimes painfully, exactly what you are here to learn about. If, for instance, if you have a parent or had a parent who was snuffing your light, that's the lesson for you to learn how to open to it in yourself. See, we each create our own screenplay of our own stories, the beliefs that we have. My invitation to you is to discover what your beliefs have been about you and what you hold on to as you let go of your identity. That happens through finding what you believe. Oh, you get to see all your attachments and what you think you need to do. Oh, I can't leave this marriage. It's my second marriage. Not going to do that. Can't fail. Can't be a failure like, well, my father, he was such a loser. He couldn't make it. Wow, my parents' marriage really did fail. I've already gone through one divorce. Don't want to do another. Do you get it? Inside of you is a quaking, bubbling, erupting, loving, smooth, easy, intense wave that you have to catch. You find it through being true to connecting with you. And this is just the beginning, my friends. I welcome you to another moment of opening into the light that you are inside, and 2 spirit gateways into and through the doorway of the Spirit Gateways Institute. Loving you, holding my arms open to you, and looking forward to you being a part of the Master Heart, Master Mind mentoring group that's right there in the membership site for you, so that you can evolve and walk your true path home into you. Thank you so very much for joining us, holding you in deep love. Until next time, this is Ayana Leahy